Right, 26 April 2024, and today I've got an action-packed Friday bulletin, and today we're going to be bringing you quite a lot of other stories, and I want to start with what is happening with the national hero, uh, Brigadier General Shadreck Vezha, and this is something that I want us to look at. It's very, very important, and this is to do with the children. So, how many children did Vezha leave on Earth, and what is happening with them? Who is the wife, and what is happening with the wife? Why haven't we seen the wife of Vezha speaking? I said to you yesterday that the wife of General Vezha has not spoken in public, and I want to take you through in detail who is the family of Vezha and what is happening right now, and the activities of the Zimbabwe military and what they need to do. My suggestion of what they need to do. I know this is something that is quite sensitive, but I'm going to do it because Gambakwe media is the only Gambakwe media and is the only media where you get such information from. So let's start from the beginning. General Vezha, according to my understanding, had a wife previously who passed away. So that is my understanding. And then around 2012, General Vezha, who is the late, he's going to be buried on Monday at the National Heroes Acre. He met a young lady who was Miss Hillside Teachers College. So I'm going to show you pictures here, and I'm going to then take it from there. So let's look for Miss Hillside pictures. So if I find that picture, so that's her here. She is from Bulawayo, and at the time, General Vezha was in a place called Syria. That is where he was operating. So that is the current wife of General Vezha. And I apologize that I can't find the actual picture that I wanted to use, which is the picture of Miss Hillside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that picture on gambakwe.com. So if you go to gambakwe.com in 20 minutes time, you're going to find the picture when she was Miss Hillside. She is someone who was a teacher around the area of Bulawayo, and currently she is based in Harare. She has suffered a stroke, and she is currently living in the house of General Vezha. So let's fix this. Right, she's currently living in the house of General Vezha at a military base in Harare. But that is not all. She's got 2 children with General Vezha. So General Vezha was at his home here. You saw that he went to his rural home. The body was taken to his rural home. I showed you yesterday. And when he went home, you saw that she was not there. The wife that I'm talking about was not there. And the reason why this happened is that the Zimbabwe military has totally ignored the wife. They have taken a certain place outside of the house where they are doing all the processes. And as you know, that General Vezha was a triplet. He's got 2 other brothers. And he's the late. So they have gone to a place that is not where he lives, and left his wife and kids at the base, at the military base, and they're doing all the processes outside of the military base. So the family is just sitting there, not knowing what's going on. And I'm now going to show you the kids. So this child is the elder child of the Vezhas. This is Vezha's oldest child. Not the oldest, but with his current wife, she is the eldest child. And I won't give you the name now. Then this is the young baby, very pretty young baby. This is the eldest baby, the youngest baby of Vezha, the youngest child that he's got. And this baby is currently at the house in Harare, at Vezha's home. Very sad to have lost a father, but not involved. So this family is not involved in what is happening. The military has somehow just ignored the whole family. But to make matters worse, Oppah Muchinguri went to this house and saw the wife, saw the kids, and then she disappeared. So Oppah Muchinguri disappeared on this family. of Vezha. So they're sitting at the base. They don't know what is the arrangements that is taking place. Everything's just happening away from the family. And I do not know who is in charge, if it is the family or if it is the military or who else. But the family is currently not involved in this whole activities which are taking place, which is the wife here. She is paralyzed currently, and I will put her picture as Miss Hillside on Gambakwe.com. You can go and have a look at it. He met her in 2012 when he was still based outside the country. That is Vezha, and they obviously had a baby at that time. But 3 years ago, she moved in with him at the base, at the military base in Harare, where they're staying. And this is the current situation, that the family is sitting there in the house. They do not know what is happening. The military is going on with other family members without informing the actual wife what is happening with the funeral and all the processes. So I do not know what is the motivation behind that activity, but obviously the military is doing the wrong thing. They need to involve the wife of Vezha, the current wife, and make sure that she's involved in burying her own husband, and the children are involved and they're part of mourning their own father, and also part of the activities that are taking place here. So my understanding is that Vezha has got other children, including numbers up to 5 children. I do not know who the mothers are. So if you're the mother of Vezha's children, call me. Then we can put you up here so that we have all the information in front of us and we don't have anything hidden. Because I don't have any, myself, I do not have any dealings with anyone, ZANU-PF or whoever. I do media, and that is what I do. I produce information, and this is the current information that is there. The family of Vezha not involved in his burial. Currently, the children at home, Oppah Muchinguri was over there, but she's not done anything. She's just left them. And this is a very senior soldier we're talking about here, Brigadier General Shadreck Vezha, the top. I always tell you, he's top, higher than special forces. That is the man whose family should not be treated in this way. If I was him, I would not want my kids to be sitting there not knowing what's going on. So I think this needs to be sorted out. The guys in the military, they need to sort this out. They need to make sure that the wife is involved and she sees what's going on with her husband, and they do not hide. I do not know what they're trying to do. Her name is Dalubuhle. That is the name I'm going to give you. The wife, she's called Dalubuhle, and she's the wife of Vezha, with the children that I've shown you, the 2 kids. That is one who is going into high school now, and the little baby who's going to be starting ECD very, very soon. And currently, their family here, where she's living, she is living with the grandparents who are pensioners, and they do not have the funds to deal with this kind of thing. So I hope that Oppah Muchinguri does the right thing here, and she takes this family, make sure that they take the correct position in the burial of their father, and we don't have this situation where there's disorder in this whole process. Vezha was a big guy in the army, and what's happening is crazy. I've never seen anything of this nature in my whole life. So I think that is done. That's our headline for today. And now let's go to other news. Let's go to the pictures very, very quickly. I want to wrap this up. South Africa is celebrating 30 years of independence tomorrow. That is their first time that they had their election in 1994. So South Africa is celebrating 30 years of independence. And I want to look at other things that are happening. ZITF is big. A lot is happening at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair. Mnangagwa, Chiwenga, and Mohadi are over there. Mohadi is continuing with his 3rd term thing, but General Chiwenga is going to be in Iran. So he's traveling to Iran. He's arriving today. And as I said, Chiwenga is slowly taking over from Mnangagwa, and very soon you're going to see Chiwenga doing more and more and Mnangagwa doing less and less. Then we have the story of the journalists. All the journalists were over there at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair. Most of the journalists, I see DJ Ola there. I see some Ezra Chisa was over there, and there was a panel of alternative media. So all I can say is that if you don't have Gambakwe media, Yeah. You see, if you don't have Gambakwe media in something, then it's going to be very difficult for you as media, because I don't rest while the other guys spend most of their time resting. Then Mnangagwa is going to be sharing a stage with Brian Kagoro. You can go and look at this. I'll upload this poster on gambakwe.com. It's called the CEO Annual Roundtable 2024. And you can see the details on gambakwe.com. I'll upload it. I think this is in July. So if you look at that, where is the date? I'm not seeing it's too small for me to see, but you can check it out when I upload it on gambakwe.com. So Mnangagwa and Brian Kagoro, for the first time, they're going to share a stage. You're going to see them together. Then Tinashe Mugabe, doing very well. He's on leave and he is traveling with his wife and the baby. They're in the Philippines, so you can go check out whatever they'll be doing. And I like the way the lady is dressing. She's very, very nice. I like it. It's amazing. And then in terms of Zimbabwe, the military again, they've bought 12 jets, trainer jets from Pakistan. You can go and have a look at this story from the Standard, I think the independent newspaper. They've bought these for $30 million US, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a mistake. What the Zimbabwe government should be doing is to focus on drones. They should be buying drones. They should be buying technology that does not require someone to fly it. And our military should be focusing more on flying those drones and learning how to control the drones. So I think that's a mistake what they've done. Job Scala is going to be presenting. He has shared the poster here. If you look at Job Scala's Twitter, he has shared the poster. He's going to be presenting at Geneva Human Rights Conference. I was going to go there, but I just don't have the funds to travel. So if you want to fund Gambakwe to go to Geneva and they've got $1,000, send it. Then you'll see me with Job Scala at Geneva. But currently, it's not going to happen. We're so busy with the head office that we're working on. Yeah, but as I said, if you want to fund my trip to Geneva, let's do it. Job Scala is going to be presenting there on the 15th of May. Then we've got SADC. You see that SADC has handed over to the Mozambicans. The Mozambicans are in dark green, and General Dube over there looking very, very nice. The guy with the blue beret. I like this guy. He's very, very interesting for a military guy. They've handed over all the equipment which was donated by the EU, and they are moving out. By the end of July, there will be no SADC in Mozambique, and the Mozambicans are going to get a hard time. Without Rwanda, the Mozambicans will be killed. All of them. That is, the Mozambicans can't fight. Simple. They don't know how to fight. So they need the Rwanda guys. The Rwanda guys are going to do a great job. And then let's look at people who are now turning against Chamisa. A lot of people think that, and they believe that they can quickly get a quick buck if they dump Chamisa. And I think that's a mistake. So there are people who now want to align with Mnangagwa, and they're coming out in public saying we support Mnangagwa. And I want to show you, for example, Mambo Duterere here. He has come out and said he supports Mnangagwa. Bad mistake, because these words, he's going to eat his words. Let's see.
You were supporting which individual?
ED. I was supporting ED individual. Emerson Mnangagwa.
He supports Emerson Mnangagwa. That's what he says. So everyone mark Mambo Duterere, what he has said. He supports Mnangagwa. Also mark people like Maurice Zuzai, who have said that they think they wasted their time supporting Nelson Chamisa. So I said there's a lot of people that think they can quickly get an advantage. But what I can say to you is, if you're a young person, if you are a person that wants Zimbabwe to do well, you must go through the pain right now. So you see, if you support ZANU, you probably get some money now. But in the future, it will not work for you. So for young people, continue to support the people who are looking for democratic change in Zimbabwe, and they're going to do very, very well. Leave the guys who are looking for the quick buck and do your thing. It will take time, but eventually you do well. And if you see Gambakwe, I will never, and I promise you here that I will never support ZANU and Mnangagwa and what he's doing with the what do you call this? The bond, new bond. Chizig. Yeah, I forgot to. How can I change the Zig to Chizig? Chizig. I'll never support Chizig, and I'll never support what ED is doing with all these people suffering every day. Mnangagwa Nenzara every day. So now let's go to the next story here, which is Mshayavanu, and is a Zig. Mshayavanu has told the Herald newspaper that the fact that the government of Zimbabwe owes billions to contractors won't affect the Zig's value, but I think he's lying. So let me explain to you why. The Zimbabwe government has not paid a lot of money to contractors and also to suppliers. So Wange is not paid. It's almost $1 billion owing there. And then a lot of contractors have not been paid since 2019. The Zimbabwe government owes billions and billions in US dollars. So they don't just have money that they're saying they have, but they're in a minus or a negative position. And what is going to happen is that eventually when they need to pay that money, they'll have to print. So Chizig is going to drop parabolically. Parabolically is like this, like you're going down a sharp cliff. That is what is going to happen to Chizig. And we're all going to be here to watch that situation. Mshayavanu, the problem with him is he's technical. He's a technician. I always tell you that Mshayavanu is a technician. He does not take time to think about what's happening behind the scenes. And behind the scenes is like the people who are in the system are sharks. So everyone in the banking sector is involved in money laundering. And eco cash, and inbox, everyone in the property sector, they are sharks. They cannot make money. They don't know how to make money except to do money laundering. So everyone in Zimbabwe that you see who is making crazy monies, which is making a house in Zimbabwe cost 2 million, a normal house, is because those people are money laundering. People like Anna Gideon Gono, when they were the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, check out the activities, what they were doing in the property sector, what they were doing with money in the boot of the buckies, and what is happening now with all the people that are still with the Reserve Bank, and why those people are not fired. That is because they're part of the money laundering, and it will never end. So Chizig is going to do the only thing that it will do, which is sink deeply to the bottom. So you see it. And if you get a chance, do not keep the Zig. The moment your Zig ends in your account, go to a shop and swipe and make sure you got no money in your bank, because Chizig is got no value. There's no gold backing that thing. Now, let's look at other stories again. And I want to quickly see if I've missed something here in Botswana. In Botswana, there's a very interesting story that is taking place with De Beers. It's developing. So De Beers is probably going to be bought by other players in the industry. But there is also another story of the lottery. Botswana is going to be having a lottery for the first time, and they're going to be giving it to a South African company called Ituba. So the South African lottery and the Botswana lottery are going to be run by one company, Ituba, and you should find out who the lady who's running Ituba is over there. We've featured her multiple times, and she is very interesting. She owns a jet and everything. She does very, very well. And then SIAC, the SADC Electoral Advisory Commission, has visited the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Botswana, because you know that the Botswana elections are a problem. There's happening a lot of things happening in Botswana. The Botswana government is becoming one of the pariah states. Masisi is a problem, very, very big problem, and he's turning Botswana into a banana republic. So Botswana is now a banana republic, something that people would eventually equate to Zimbabwe very, very soon. Now, let me look if there's any newspapers that have published. So let's start with the Herald newspaper. The Herald newspaper says Mnangagwa is going to be touring the ZITF stands today. So if you're in Bulawayo and you want to see Mnangagwa, you can go to ZITF and just wander around. You eventually meet him somewhere. And what else they have here? They have Mshaban saying the exchange rate is not influenced by payments of contractors, which is not true. As I said to you, Mshaban is lying very, very badly. The government of Zimbabwe owes multiple contractors billions and billions of dollars. Try to find out from contractors why Gwai has died, why Baitbridge, Harare is not working, why everything that Mnangagwa has started is not completed. It's because the contractors will not be paid. Mnangagwa is probably the person that will go down in history as someone who's turned Zimbabwe into a construction site and then departed. So what you're going to find out is, you see that road that they're digging in town, it will end up looking worse than when they started. And it's terrible because Mnangagwa is someone who started very, very well. But when he rigged the elections, everything fell apart. The rigging is the worst part of what Mnangagwa has done. And what Mnangagwa should do is to look for dialogue with Chamisa, as we have been saying here for days. I've been saying that Mnangagwa should look for dialogue. Otherwise, the government of Mnangagwa has collapsed. They just bought time with the Zig. And this thing was supposed to have collapsed by the end of this month. But we'll give it a few months, a month or two. Mnangagwa's government is going to collapse. The Zig is going to be even worse than the previous money. So the numbers that the Zig is going to get to are billions. And this is going to happen rapidly. That's what I mean when I say parabolic. So you're going to wake up one morning and the Zig is going to say 40, 60, 80, 100, and then 1,000. That is what is going to happen to Chizig. And this happened when I was in Zimbabwe one day. As I was driving from Masvingo, by the time I got to Kariba, Chizig had dropped by almost 400% in one day. So do not trust anyone at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Do not trust Mnangagwa. Do not trust the Zig. Those guys, they do not know what they're doing. They are very, very confused. That is the honest truth. Now, I want to look if the H Metro is published. Let's see if the H Metro is published. That is one of my favorite newspapers. I always look at the H Metro. Then I want to... So the H Metro has got a very strange story, guys. I'm going to share this on the screen with you. And I don't know if Sadomba is paying these guys because this story looks dodgy. Like, what's happening? I do not know what's happening with this story because it looks very dodgy. So it says how Sadomba spent 2 years in hell. His wife and Sadomba sleep on different floors, and Sadomba sleeps on the first floor. Cheryl sleeps on the ground floor. So go and check out this story. This is like the worst story ever. Cheryl once deserted the house for about a month. So if this is the case, why is Cheryl the one who is looking for a protection order from Sadomba? So go and read the story in the H Metro newspaper. I like H Metro, but sometimes I think the stories are dodgy. I don't understand why this story would look like this. I always take the side of the woman. So if there's a case, right? So let's say a man and a female. I always take the side of the female until the man is proved the man is proved right. Because if your wife is doing crazy stuff and she's sleeping out for a month, what are you doing with her? If you're a real man, you know what to do. If your wife makes one mistake, make that decision that day. Don't tell us after 3 years that your wife did this. Yeah, I think this is crazy. In Sadomba, I don't believe his story that his wife was doing whatever they say she was doing. So let's now quickly look at the log. I want to give you guys the soccer log. Highlander stood at the top, Chicken in second, Simba Bora third, Manika Diamonds fourth. And all these 15 points, 13 points. And then Dynamos is still at number 7. It's out of the relegation zone. At the bottom is Wange, Herendhouse, and Yada. Yada has gone up by 1 point. So they're now at number 3. They're slowly moving out of the relegation zone. And that is fine. So you know that Yada, Highlanders, and Dynamos, they all have ZANU-PF right now in them. So Scott Sakpanya, Kudata Gwirei, Kudata Gwirei and Scott. Scott has got 2 teams in this league that is sponsoring. That is Highlanders and Yada. And then Dynamos is being sponsored by Kudata Gwirei. So I do not know what it means, but basically the whole of the ZANU-PF is in soccer, like to a great extent. So now let's go back to the headline and then we'll recap and look at the comments. First and foremost, General Vezha, a very interesting man in terms of his position in the Zimbabwe National Army. Top. I always tell people that this guy, he was in Syria. Do you understand what that means? That's special operations. Have you ever heard about it? The reason why you're hearing about it is because I know about it. So this guy was involved in certain operations that we call cross-border operations, top secret operations, black ops, things that if it happens, then no one will know if it happened or not. That is what this guy was involved in. In fact, you might find out that when he died, the military didn't believe he was dead because it was not possible to kill him. That is basically the kind of people that are now Vezha are like. So this guy's family, just a week after his death and before he's buried, they are already in trouble. Imagine what will happen to his wife after a few months. So I'm saying, imagine what will happen to Dalubuhle here after a few months. So this needs to be sorted. The guys in the military must not take this as a joke. And Oppah Muchinguri, she needs to do the right thing. She needs to do the right thing by this family, young baby here, and this other young lady. These two, they are like your national assets. They need to deal with it. Similarly, I talk about Major Mkondiso Gumbo here, Major Tamani Ngube. They need to be treated very well, and their family needs to be taken care of. When people are in the army, when they die, it is the job of the Zimbabwe military to take care of them. And I always make sure that I talk and represent these guys. I know that army, it's scary, no one can say anything. But let's say it here, that if someone is in the military, the welfare of the employees or the workers or the officers in the military is paramount, and also of their families. So I need this to be sorted. This needs to be sorted, right? So I'm the civilian, I'm the boss. You guys are the officers. You're not the boss. And people like General Vezha, they need to make sure that this thing is sorted out. You can't have a situation like this, and we should not allow it. Zimbabwe has got enough resources. People should stop being corrupt and make sure that things do happen well for the officers that lose their lives. So this needs to be sorted, and I hope that by Monday, when I come back here, we'll be having a different report. I'll be showing you pictures of the wife and the babies sitting there in front of the stage, taking care of and mourning their father properly, and not just being left in a house without knowing what's happening and what arrangements are taking place. So the wife of anyone who dies is responsible for the day-to-day and is responsible for taking charge of the funeral and the mourning, not the brothers, not the sisters, not other people that don't live with the guy. Now let's look at other comments. Mkoma Sandy says, nothing comes from Oppah Muchinguri. She has betrayed her whole life. Check the history of her liberation struggle up to date. I do not know Oppah Muchinguri, and I do not really care much about what Oppah Muchinguri does. I don't think she's in charge there at the Zimbabwe military. I just think that Zimbabwe military is a complex organization. Look at these guys. These are the guys who are in charge of the Zimbabwe military. But my general argubatwa se ishwa. You know what I mean when I say my general argubatwa se ishwa? If you're a general, you can wake up tomorrow, right? And you'll be gone. Like boom, gone. You don't know what happened to you. So my general, I do not understand them. But why achivuma kubatwa se ishwa? So anyway, we're digressing. Let's go back to the comments. My general argument was ishwa. T1 says ED is very clever. Anoda kushandisa Muhadi to fulfill his dreams like he did to Chabangu. Correct. Muhadi is being used to fight Chiwenga, but Chiwenga is very smart. Then freedom doesn't come on a silver platter. People need to struggle for it. Just hold on, Zimbabweans. Yes, let's wait for Chamisa's next move. Chamisa is going to announce very, very soon. And then George Kazima said, Comrade Tandy, truth does not make one unpatriotic. Also supporting opposition does not make one unpatriotic. Right. I don't mind people who insult who are from ZANU. All I know is that eventually, so I want to explain something to you guys. Eventually, everyone is going to converge. The ZIG is the one thing that is going to make everyone converge in one place. That ZIG is going to collapse so badly that even people who support ZANU are going to realize that ZANU is got no clue and they want a new government. You're going to see this very, very shortly, and it's going to be very, very obvious that Mnangagwa has got no clue. Then let's go to Simbarashe. Takawura says, what happened to the 200 people arrested? ZIG. So 65 people were arrested on Friday. Most of those people are not money changers, so they couldn't take them to court. They released those people. 14 were the money changers. They're currently in jail. And then the rest were not money changers. So they're just walking around arresting anyone they can find. That's why I'm saying it's not serious. And it's clear, it's crazy what the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is doing. And as I said, it doesn't make sense what the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is doing to try to support the money using police. And Mshawan said it yesterday. Then I want to take the last question. Since you say the wife suffered a stroke, by living out of the funeral arrangements, are they not protecting her due to her condition? Afraid she might have another stroke and die. Okay, so she had a stroke after she gave birth to the second child. So it's not that kind of stroke. She's on a wheelchair, and I haven't seen her. I don't know her. Well, I don't know her. Yeah, and so what I'm saying here is you can't bury someone and not acknowledge the wife. You need to acknowledge that Vezha had a wife and 2 kids who are living inside his house. They are in his house right now. If you go to Vezha's house, the Zimbabwe military must not behave as if Vezha was in Chivi or he was in his farm in Kwekwe. Vezha's body must have been taken to his house in the barrack. Where is that picture of Vezha's house in the barrack in Harare? So do you mean Vezha was staying at Kwekwe or at Chivi? Show me the picture of Vezha in his house. So what does that mean? They must do the right thing. And it's also, we're not afraid to say this. The military must do the right thing by the soldiers. And I hope the soldier guys are supporting me here. That we can't have the top generals being treated this way. Imagine a mere soldier like Major Gumbo or Major Ngube or the other guy. I think I keep forgetting to put this guy's picture up. There was another guy who died here. So does it mean if you're a soldier and you die, you just be thrown away like that? There's Sergeant Lenmo Chakabayo here. Has anyone ever seen him being talked about? So what does that mean? So the Zimbabwe government and the government of Mnangagwa, they need to make sure that when someone is declared a hero, they actually are a hero, not a hero just by name. Make sure that the family is taken care of, the kids go to school, and they're taken care of, they've got something to eat. Make sure that they've got a place to stay. We don't want to hear after a week that Vezha's children have been thrown out of the barrack and they're now living on the streets. So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about here. And we're not talking about theoretical things here. And then Mkomatemo said, Gambakwe, if you die today while Savi is in the army, you have breached your contract. You will lose 1/3 of your contribution. While Savi in the army, serving in the army, all right? Okay, I think I do not understand this, but I think Mkomatemo, you're saying something very important. So I'm going to research it. That if you die today while serving in the army, you have breached your contract. You will lose 1/3 of your contribution. I think we need to find out this. This is very important. Many guys, I meet many guys in the army. The reason why I feel so bad about people in the army, there's a guy who cleans my car. So guys, I want you to listen to this very carefully. The guy who cleans my car was in the Zimbabwe National Army. So you guys in the army must understand what I'm saying here. This guy cleans my car and I pay him 50 rand and he's in the army. Most of the army guys who have deserted, who came to South Africa, are having a very hard time. There is no reason for this to happen. You need to make sure that the civil servants, the army, the police, people in the prison service are properly taken care of. And the first step is to create the political conditions in Zimbabwe for the country to do well. So what Mnangagwa is doing to reject dialogue and to become stubborn and playing hardball, that is what is causing the conditions in Zimbabwe. And we need this to stop. Mnangagwa needs to be told off. Right now, for what he's doing, we need the economy in Zimbabwe to work, and we need to separate the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe from the politics so that things can work. So that is what I'm saying here, and I hope that everyone is in support. Civil servants are earning $95. Yeah, that is Mkoma Matatis and Batatis. I don't even want to hear the US dollar argument. If you come to South Africa, people can't even recognize the US dollar. If you go to Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana, no one knows the US dollar. The reason why people in Zimbabwe know the US dollar is because it's being used to loot by the banking sector. The banking sector in Zimbabwe is a group of money launderers, starting at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, going to all the banks, EcoCash, Inbox. Those are money launderers. That's what they do. All those people that you see in the banking sector, if you remove that strange setup where you're transacting with multiple currencies, they're charging you multiple charges, they're transacting at the wrong rate, they're stealing your money when they convert from dollar to ZiG. They are money launderers. That's why they want that ZiG to not trade by itself. If the ZiG was to trade by itself, within a short space of time, all the problems in Zimbabwe will be finished. If there was going to be money in the ATM, haven't you ever asked yourself, why is there no money in the ATM? It's because they use the currency. They trade that money. They take it from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. They put it on the streets. The money launderers, everyone starting at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, especially the deputy governors who are there. Most of them are money launderers, and I challenge them to sue me if they think I'm lying, if they think they can get away with it. Apparently, I got a letter some few years ago from one of the top lawyers of one of the top guys in Zimbabwe saying they're going to sue me. Then after I asked them to call me, they didn't come up and they went away quietly. This is what is going to happen to the deputy governors. Deputy governors, heads of department, the RBZ, the money launderers. That's why they don't want the ZiG to transact by itself. Because any normalcy in Zimbabwe is going to result in them losing their money. They're stealing money, the money that they steal through money laundering. And we should not allow our currency. So people should steal somewhere else. But our currency should not be used to steal. Our reserve bank should not be used to steal. If you're in the banking sector and you're a money launderer, internationally, you are a criminal. You must not be allowed to be there in that reserve in the banking sector of a country, because the international banking system is the same. So we want to make sure that Zimbabwe has got strong anti-money laundering laws. The money is strong, and if people are stealing, they must steal in their little shops and little businesses, not in the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, which is where it is happening now. So I think this is well explained. And Mkoma Goodwin Collins says, is the fresh election still there or not? There's no fresh election until dialogue. And then Mkoma Vezha anga aine imba here Muharare. Okay, so I think maybe we need to get this correct. Vezha had a house. He was living at the barrack with the police, with the soldiers. So he's got a house. And if you go to Vezha's house now, you find his family there. So go there and you find the house of Vezha. It's there at the barracks. And I don't even have to tell her, because Oppah Muchinguri was there, so she knows it. She doesn't have to, I don't have to tell her where the house is. She was there. She saw the wife, she saw the kids. Just do the right thing, military. Make sure that the family of your heroes are taken care of. Let's not have that situation I showed yesterday of people being mourned on the street, or their coffins not fitting in the door of the houses. How long does it take for the military to build a house? Could bring 100 soldiers there and build a house quickly so that Vezha's house could look beautiful and pretty. But no, they don't do it. So anyway, I think I'm coming to one saying, I don't want to answer this one because his family is there. So where his family lives, that's his house. So if you're a soldier and you live in a place and your family is there, that's your house. I think that is a standard practice. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Today we've got a special feature. We've got the son of Lazarus Bohora, or Gringo, is going to be joining us here, obviously through our partnership with JCTV Zimbabwe. So please look out for that. You know, we featured Gringo here during his last days. I actually set up an arrangement with the Gringo before he died, Lazarus Bohora, and we did some shows with him over a period of about 2-3 months before he died. So you can go to Gambakwe.com and type Gringo. You see a lot of those interviews that he did. In fact, I'm going to replay the interview with Gringo before sometime very soon. But today we're going to have his son. He's going to be talking about what he's doing and what the family is doing and how they've been doing. They've got so many kids there. I think they've got, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 wives there and a bunch of kids. So we'll be hearing more about that today. And so today I'm not going to come back in the night. There'll be also an update during the day by our news readers. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and a good day to you all.